The hour has finally arrived to bestow our beloved pages with a worthy sanctuary. For today, we shall craft the grand journal cover and its accompanying tassel. Welcome back to Rosewood Manor, friends. As we reach this pivotal chapter of our journey, one must remember that a lady's journal is much like her reputation. It requires a firm foundation and a touch of exquisite flair. We have spent weeks gathering our botanical secrets and lace-trimmed memories, and now we shall house them in a cover that would make even the most discerning members of the ton pause in admiration. So, here is what you will need for your journal cover making. You will need some cardboard, and I have here some chipboard that is pre-cut to the perfect size, which is 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and it's available on Amazon, and that makes everything a lot easier. So this is pre-cut chipboard. You can of course use any other cardboard or a cereal box, whatever works for you. I found this is fairly straightforward and really easy. And these are the pieces that you will need. 2 pieces for the back and for the front of the cover. And each of the pieces are 5.5 by 8.5. Then you will need a piece for the spine. My spine is 2.5 inches wide. It fits 4 signatures very comfortably in the journal cover. And so the spine that I'm choosing here is 2.5 inches wide by 8.5. So if you would like a wider spine, simply make your spine wider or more narrow, whatever you prefer. Then we need something to cover our cardstock. For this journal cover, I'm using 2 pages from our Botanical Secrets collection, and these are the vertical background pages, and I printed them on cardstock. Then you will also need some paper to cover the inside of the cover, and I printed 2 of these pages from the horizontal background pages of the collection, and they will go on the inside of the journal cover. And then I'm using 2 cutouts from the add-on kit. These make a pretty decoration for the front and for the back. Then I have here this bookbinding tool, which is very useful. You don't have to use something like this, but I found it is very, very practical and makes this whole process a lot easier. Then you will need some ribbon and some laces for decoration. And I'm also using this kitchen scraper as my glue spreader for the journal cover, because we'll need quite a bit of glue and it's easier to spread with this. And also I can clean my desk at the end of a crafting session. So this is very useful. And I will be trying this glue spreader for the to add the ribbons to my journal cover. Let's see how that works. I haven't tried that before. Then of course you will need some glue. I'm using the art glitter glue here, and I'm using a big bottle with a big nozzle. To begin, I'm turning these pages over and glue these 2 pieces together so that I have one large piece of cardstock. So I'm gluing these 2 pieces together, and the overlap here is about 1/2 inch. So that way it sticks together well. Next, we'll add the chipboard pieces to the paper, and for that I'm using this bookbinding tool here to make sure that the distance here between the spine and the covers is the same. This is the ideal distance to allow for enough flexibility of the covers with the spine, so that they are not too tight and not too loose. So I'm going to measure like so. Then I'm going to trace around these pieces so that when I glue them, it's a little bit easier. So if you want to make extra sure that everything is straight, simply use a large ruler like this and make sure that the top all lines up so we have everything straight. Next, let's add some glue to our cardboard pieces. So next we want to cut off the corners here and here to avoid for too much bulk on the corners. So this is where this tool comes in very handy. So we want to put this angle here on this side, and then there's a little gap here so that it has a nice clean finish. So we simply make the line here, and don't worry about this warping a little bit, because there will be glue on this side again as also, and that evens itself out. So next we'll fold over the sides, and I like to go really gentle with this process. So we first just really edge it like so, very gentle. So this is paper, and it is definitely behaving differently than fabric, so we want to be fairly gentle with this. So it's good to have a really good cardstock paper. So what I do here is I'm going to use my bone folder just to make a little dip here so that this folds over very neatly. So we have a very neat corner, very clean. Same here. We'll make a little crease here in this corner and fold this over gently. And crease here and crease here. crease the edges. And now it's time to glue them on. It's really important to take your time with this process and to be in a fairly calm state, not to rush. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. It's almost like a meditative kind of activity. So make sure to go in the same order as you folded these sides, because these corner folds are exactly the same way. Also, the art glitter glue takes a little bit longer to dry than the barely art glue, for example. So that's why it is important to take your time and to keep going back until it is fully set here. Beautiful. So you want to make sure to use a high quality cardstock for the cover. I have one link below that I'm using usually. And now we'll take our bone folder and make a little crease here and crease here. This is where this will fold. So we want to make sure this is all set well. We want to add the inside of the cover, and so for that I've printed out this particular design, and so since this is obviously not long enough, I will need another piece here to cover this part. And the way I cut it, I let it kind of overlap here around the spine. So this is a personal preference, really. So you can see here, this is where the spine is, and this is also where the signatures will come up. So it's up to you where you want this to meet. So I'm going to let this meet here. That's one. And then we'll have a little overlap so that it's and then we'll have a little overlap here. So I'll go ahead and cut these sides off. So make sure that your cover is facing the right side. I mean, with this one, it doesn't matter as much, but you can tell that these leaves are going swirling upward. So we want to make sure. While this is setting, because you don't want to fold it yet, it's really better to let this dry very well before moving it and folding it together. So I want to make sure to just let it sit, let it do its thing. And in the meantime, I'm getting everything ready for the outside. So I have here, I have this pretty ribbon for the spine, which we will be attaching on Friday when we have sewn in all of our signatures. But I like to have it here for our cover design so that I can kind of gauge how everything looks. I think this goes very pretty. Yeah, so we have this like so. So this goes like so. Yeah, very pretty. And then I have here a nice ribbon that will go all around the cover and will then be the closure for our cover. So whenever I use a ribbon closure like that goes around the cover, I like to go with about 50 to 60 inches so that I have plenty of ribbon to tie a nice large bow and that the journal can expand as much as it likes. So this will go on first. And then we have our 2 medallion here. So one will go here and one will go here, like so. I just love flowers. This looks so pretty. And I have then some book corners that will go like so. So I'm going to glue the first piece on. And when I do these ribbon closures, I find the middle of the ribbon and I put a paper clip so that I know exactly where the center is of this, or the middle is of this. And so that allows me then to glue it on properly. So, and I'm going to just mark where the glue will go. So I'm going to do that now, and I want to try to use this little spreader here. I don't want to use too much of it. Just a little. So I think it has dried enough. And now it is time for the fold. So we want to crease it like so and like so. And so then we can simply have it creased like so. And so when I decorate my journal covers, I like to put some books inside to have a better surface to work with here. So I have here some book corners that I'm going to add here, and then simply going to press them together like so. You don't want to use pliers or anything because they are going to dent them or scratch them, and they're a very soft metal, so it's very easy to actually press them together. If you feel like you need a little bit more strength, then to press these book corners on, I have these pliers. They look like so. I believe they're like jewelry pliers. And what I do is I put a little bit of fabric around it, and then and then I press them very gently. And I have here a little dragonfly that might go well here with this. And I'm going to use this particular gemstone adhesive. It's linked below. This is a very strong one, and I think that should work just well. So we are going to let this set, and we're going to continue this journal cover in our next video, because we want to sew in our signatures first before we attach this back ribbon and the back side of it. So this is complete for today's video, and we are moving on to the tassel. Stay with me, for I'm about to reveal how we shall fashion a tassel of such botanical beauty and grace that it shall serve as the perfect crowning jewel for our Manor creation. So to measure the elements for our tassel, we want to go about twice the length of our journal, because it's going to dangle from the journal here. So we're going double the length of the journal here. I like to use some of the decorations that were used with the journal cover and then add some other things to it. So I have here this ribbon that was used for the cover, and I have here some satin ribbons that will go well with it. And then I have here some leafy ribbons, and then I'm using a piece of embroidery yarn as well. So what you will need here for your tassel is a leaf ring binder ring, a leaf binder ring that looks like so, and that you can close like this, and a lobster clasp like this. So I have all of the ribbons laid out, and I like to start with the widest one and then simply layer them all on top of each other. I doubled up on this one, and then we have these here, the leafy ones. So any type of ribbons that you feel that match or go with your cover, they are totally fine. And then you want to take your ring here, open it up, and grab all of your ribbons here, and then close it like so. Next, lift it up like so, grab all of your ribbons here, and then you can take your embroidery yarn or any kind of string that you have. I like to use embroidery yarn, and then tie it around your ribbons. And I like to let this dangle as well, like so. Oh, how beautiful. Open this up. We can add our clasp in. And so for now, Let's just add it like so. This gives you a bit of a feel for how long you want this tassel to be. And then you can simply cut off anything that you don't use. Yeah, how beautiful. Ah, I love it. It's so pretty. Yes. So there is this beautiful little tassel that goes with it. We keep it very simple. It's just a botanical. It's a botanical journal, so we want to keep it a little on the simpler side. We added a tiny bit of shimmer to it with those leaves. But anything that you can find that you want to add to it, of course, it's up to you. If these designs have captured your heart, the Botanical Secrets collection awaits you in the Etsy boutique. Details are listed below. Or if you are viewing this on your parlor screens or television, let this QR code be your magic key. Simply aim your camera and click. The boutique doors are always open for you. There, our cover stands ready, and our tassel is perfectly poised to catch the afternoon light. It has been a true delight to share this labor of love with you today. However, our tale is not yet fully told. You must return this coming Friday, for we shall gather once more to perform the most sacred of tasks, sewing in our 4 completed signatures and marrying the pages to the cover at last. By the time the sun sets on our next meeting, our masterpiece shall be complete. Until then, I remain yours in lace and ribbons and with much love, Asaura. Good day.